Hello everyone, and thank you guys for tuning back into another video. So what I'm going to be doing today in this video is going over probably the best week I've had in this challenge, and I'm going to split this up into 3 separate videos so they're not super long. But as you guys can see, this past week we're up nearly 50%, and which equates to around $737. And for the first time in this $100 challenge, we were able to cross over $2,000, which is a huge accomplishment and milestone. We're also coming up close to the end of July, and I'm going to be making a video going over like a monthly recap. But as of now, with about 2 more trading days left in July, we're up nearly 138%. And so I'm going to continue to look forward to build upon that percentage in these last 2 trading days of July. But for the week, I took a total of 5 trades. I'm going to explain 2 in this video, and then the next trades are going to go in a different video, so it's not too long. But we're going to go ahead and get into the first trade that I made, which was on SPY. And if we go down to the trade history, we can see that I bought a $2.95 call on July 22nd, and then I sold that call for a profit of $58 the next day. So it was a really nice and quick swing trade. And if we look on the chart right here, we see that when we bought it, it was trading right around if we look at the week, it was trading right around the 297 298 area on July 22nd. Then on July 23rd, it spiked up all the way to 299, almost 300 area. So it was almost a dollar move, so we were able to profit quite a bit. If we would have held down a bit longer, we would have definitely made a lot more money. You can see that it got as high as up to 302, but I'm not complaining. It was a pretty good and easy swing trade, and I'll go into further detail once I go into the TD Ameritrade chart. But the next trade that I'm going to explain in this video was on NFLX. And if we go down on the history, I've actually traded a couple of times this week, but the trade that I'm going to be talking about in this video was a put credit spread, and I entered it on July 23rd, and what I basically did was I sold 300 puts and I bought 297.5 puts. So in essence, what I basically wanted the price of NFLX to do was to stay above 300. I got filled at 8 contracts with a credit of 0.44, and then you can see that I sold it the following day. I accidentally messed up the order because if we go ahead and look here, we can see that we sold the after we bought the credit we got a total credit of $352. I accidentally ended up selling only 1 in the morning, and you can see that's why it says put credit spread of $24, because I meant to put the 8 that we had, but I misclicked. But you can see that right here we ended up selling the 7 other contracts that we had, and we put a limit at 0.19, and that's where we got filled. So we got filled for a total credit of 133. I don't remember exactly how much we won on this trade, but you will definitely be seeing it on the screen, because I'll be doing the math and leave it up on the left side. But it was a pretty decent trade. I think, if I recall, I think it was around 250, somewhere around that. But overall, it was a pretty decent trade, and it was a really quick win. It was a swing trade of 1 day. But that's pretty much it for this portion of the video. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hop over to the TD Ameritrade and kind of go a little bit more in detail as to what was going on in my mind when I took these trades. So this is the SPY chart, and what I noticed was that on Friday it had a really big red day. It was trading right above the 300 area, and then it pretty much downtrended the whole day. It got as low as the 296.2 area. And so on Monday, I saw that it was gapping up. So what I was hoping for SPY to do was to hopefully recover at least $1 or 2 from its $3 drop that it had, or $4 drop that it had actually. And so Monday morning, you see from the low of 296.2, it started to gap up a little, going as high up to as just under the 298 area. And so Monday morning, once market opened, you see we had a really big green candle, and this is the 30 minutes candlestick, so it doesn't look as big, but on the 5 minute it looked a lot bigger. So we had a really good green candle. It got as high as up to 298.08. And so what I was hoping for SPY to do was to have a small pullback so that I can get a better entry into it, and that's exactly what ended up happening. You see that once it crossed over the 298 area, it had trouble maintaining the price above it, and it ended up gapping down around $1 back to the 297 area. And on the second red candle, that's when I entered my trade. I entered my trade around 9:33, I believe, and I'll put a picture of the exact confirmation so you guys know that I'm not actually making it up and just saying that I called bottom perfectly. Because even though we got a really good entry, it still went down a little bit further. You see it got as low as 297.04, so it continued to downtrend a little bit, but we got a pretty good entry on this one. And so after that, it continued to rise. It did a reversal right here, and so you see that throughout the day it continued to rise slowly, but for the most part it just traded sideways. It couldn't really cross over that 298 area. And so I decided to swing trade this trade, and as you guys can see, on Tuesday morning it broke through that it had its breakaway from the 298 area, and it was able to get as high up to the 299.85, but that was around midday. I actually ended up selling in the morning at market open because it was able to cross over the 299 area, and so I was up around a dollar move on the from my buying entry, which I bought around 297, so it was around $1.50, and so it was a pretty easy trade. I was just hoping for a recovery from SPY, and as you guys can see, if we would have held on longer, we would have definitely made a lot more money. You see, it ended the week just under 302, so we definitely left some money on the table, but overall it was a pretty easy trade. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain the NFLX trade that I took. So this is the NFLX chart, and what I noticed on this was that on Tuesday morning at market open, it began to gap down quite fast, and you can see it was trading right around the 313 area, and it pretty much gapped down around close to $7-8, and it started to get towards the 306 area, and I noticed that it began to form really strong support at the 306. You can see that the black line, which is the 306 area, it bounced off the line many times throughout the day, and so near the market close, it started to downtrend again after gapping up in the middle of the day, and once again it bounced off this 306 area. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up selling a put credit spread with a strike price of 300, and so what that basically means that is that as long as the price of NFLX stayed above 300, I would make money. And so NFLX actually dropped and made a new low of 305.3, but that was during after hours, and I really don't care about the price movement during after hours because there's usually a lot less volume during after hours, so the price isn't as the price doesn't really represent that value. But you can see that on Wednesday morning, it once again bounced off this 306 area, and this time it ended up gapping up all the way up to 309 at during pre-market, and it continued its run into market open. You can see that it ended up getting as high up to the 319 area here on Wednesday. So we ended up profiting around $200 on this trade. We would have made more had we played some call options, but playing the put credit spread was definitely a safer strategy going into this trade because I wouldn't have to worry about time decay. But as you guys can see, NFLX just continued to rise and rise throughout the week, so definitely a lot more profit to be made into this. But overall, I'm not complaining. It was basically a $200 win in one day because I just swing traded. I bought it at market close, right before market close on Tuesday, and I sold right at market open on Wednesday, which is the next day. So quick and easy $200 win. Not gonna complain. But that's pretty much it for this video. I'll be putting up the rest of the video explaining all the trades that I took that helped me reach the $2,000 mark within this next couple of days. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.